this is the story of criminal case, political case. 10 young people were arrested because they just didn't like Putin, and they tell like this openly in Telegram chat, and then they started to gather in real life, and there was provocator who actually snitched, and then he informed police, and then they were arrested. This is the story, and we follow mother of one of arrested girls who step by step becomes a political activist. So before her daughter was arrested, she was just a very ordinary, typical Russian woman living in a apartment, not in the center of Moscow, like very ordinary family. And then when her daughter was arrested, and when whole family dipped into this hell, she started to her way, knowing what is the system, how it works, and we follow her on this way. But at the same time, this is not just the story of one case, this is the story of very deep processes which are happening in Russia, and I feel and I see very deep connection between the war, which started not now in this February, but long ago in 2014, and the processes inside Russia, because the level of violence, of violation, and of just like the violence in the society inside repressive system is so high that it was clear that this shit will blow up and start to invade other countries, what we see now. So that's why this connection is clear for me, and we tried to kind of explain these processes through our film. It was just after the case started and all the guys were arrested, and almost immediately we knew about the case, because at the same time we were following the organization which is called OWR16. This is department of biggest human right NGO, which is called Memorial. So OWR16 is a very important department which helps to political prisoners, and by this time we just made a short video for them, like informational video, what to do if you're arrested. So we followed one of their coordinator, and she got the phone call from the lawyer who told her, like, look, this shit just happened. And she told us, guys, let's go to the press conference and you will see everything by yourself. So, and we came to the press conference, which was very small because it was organized by parents of arrested people and defense attorneys, and there were just like 5 journalists from independent media. By this time we still had some independent media in Russia, and now it looks, wow, so many people there, but it was just like 7 people. And I heard the story of Anya's arrest from her father, and I was so deeply shocked. Of course, I knew about political repressions in Russia, I knew about the whole situation, and I was aware about everything. But this particular story, something like it fall in my heart very deep, because of everything. My daughter was just half year, like just 5 months at this time, and Nastya, Anya's sister, she also has a daughter who is the same age, and she was in this apartment at night when Anya was arrested, and how everything went, and how they threatened with the guns to Nastya, who was holding the child in her hand, and like I can tell it in more details, but I was so shocked. So I just realized that from this point I just cannot be the same. I should do something, and that's how it started. The verdict was in 2021, but we continued to film like some scenes, and also the editing process was very long and bloody. So actually we finished the film already after February, and we did the final like sound and color correction when we already were in immigration, when we left country. So it was at the same time. It was very hard. It is still hard. I cannot like the level of pain, guilt, embarrassment, feeling of responsibility, and at the same time feeling of despair that I actually cannot do anything was so big that I simply couldn't go out or talk to people, especially when it was time of like first festivals. For example, Sheffield Film Festival, where was European premiere, and it was extremely hard just to go out from our room in the hotel and to look into people's eyes. It's still very, very embarrassing to say that I'm from Russia. So there are so many feelings about this, but at the same time I always think how it is for Ukrainians and how they feel, and there is their pain and their grief is much higher than ours, and I think that it's very, these are two different traumas. We both, I mean, Russians and Ukrainians, are so traumatized. We are traumatized by the same shit. I mean, this is dictatorship, imperialism, and all this kind of things. But it's different traumas because Russians destroys lives and they kill people. They destroys country, and and inside Russia we have another processes. Like, first of all, there is no kind of recipe for everyone because it's a very personal way for each director, and each director has his or her own language and way of showing things. But what I'm deeply convinced is that documentary is a great tool to show things how they really are, comparing with the situation with huge informational, like the informational and news. So we have so much information in our heads, and it's so, and all the news we have every day, they do not let us to see things like they are really are, because okay, we have propaganda in Russia, but at the same time there are so many same shit, not in Russia but just like in general. This is about informational bubbles we all live in. This is all about some cliches, how we think about other people in USA and China, I don't know, in Eastern Europe. So we have, because of this news and constant news, we do not have access to real life. And I believe that documentary is a great tool to show the truth, to not just information, but just give people a chance to feel, to, I don't know, to watch a bit more, not just 3 seconds and reading the title of the news, but to look, just to see the scenery, to see the faces, to feel people. So, and this for me is very big and powerful tool. No, because the film is about bad life, but it's about people who struggle for good life, let's say, and that's why I think that this is like process. This is not something that we're freezing in, but this is a process. It's a hard process, but I believe that one day people who really want to have good life, they will achieve this. Freedom, first of all, this is freedom, and I think maybe this is like, you know, for now, for this period of my life, this is freedom, because all other things, me personally, I have, because I have people whom I really love, and that's enough for me. But I think that for now it's freedom, and also war should be stopped. Putin should be judged and put in prison, and all his like people who are around him, they should be judged. So when it will happen, I think it will be much better for me personally as well. So all military murders should be judged,